406 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering, whether you're sitting at home playing some Magic or you're sitting at home playing Magic some other way.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, we're going to talk with the winner of the VML League. The VML League, Carolyn Kavanagh.
That's right. You can learn all about if you're sitting there being like, what is the VML? Don't worry. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's a super cool league for women non-binary players, and she won the whole thing.
Yeah.
And is going to the Zendikar Rising Championship.
Yes.
Which is a big deal, and we're going to talk with her about her journey there and everything cool about the VML.
Yes.
And women in Magic, etc.
Flavor Text Theater.
Flavor Text Theater Mad-Libs are coming up.
So get excited for all of that because it's going to be a sick episode.
Yeah, I'm super hyped.
Yes. But before we do that, we have people to thank for making it possible. And the number one person to thank is you, if you are a patron of this show. Yes,
Yay!
You, if you're a patron right now, I mean it, give yourself a stinking pat on the back.
Or a not stinking one, depending on the stink level of your hand.
Yeah, that's fair. If you don't have a stink hand.
If you don't have a stink hand, quick stink up your hand.
I could have gotten through it if you hadn't started laughing. Anyways, point is, you make it possible. And if you're like, I'm only contributing $1 a month, it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, that is making it possible. If you're donating $5 a month, that is making it possible. So at whatever level you are donating at, thank you so much. And if you are not yet a patron, we mean it. Any amount of contribution helps make this show happen. So thank you so much to those of you who are patrons.
Yep, you can sign up over on patreon.com/stinkhand.
/GLHF Magic.
Yeah, it takes like 30 seconds and you can become a supporter of the show. You're a member of our family. $5 level gets you into our Discord server. Bunch of different levels for whatever dollar amount you want to contribute.
Although if we could find a way to make patreon.com/stinkhand
I'm sure not every
page.
Nobody has it. I'm pretty positive.
I would really appreciate it. Anyways, thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, a great place to get all of your Commander needs.
Oh, yes.
Because Commander is happening soon. Commander Legends is coming out.
Super excited.
And you can get those pre-constructed decks.
Yep.
You can get those packs. You can get booster boxes, all from Card Kingdom. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to check out Commander Legends. Some of the previews that have been coming out look really awesome. And it's a draftable set if you're able to do that safely. What a cool idea.
So cool.
We're going to open a box of Commander Legends.
Yes, from Card Kingdom.
From Card Kingdom on our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed and you ding the bell over at youtube.com/goodluckhighfive because that video will be coming out.
And we previewed our own Commander Legends card on the Upkeep this week.
Yeah.
So if you have not yet listened to the Upkeep or watched it, go over there and watch it and hear about our sweet preview card.
Check it out. Pretty cool.
Yes.
It's a mythic.
So thank you so much to Card Kingdom for being a wonderful part of this community and a wonderful place to celebrate so much magic. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. A very special guest, none other than the winner of the most recent season of the VML, who's now heading to the Zendikar Rising Championship in December. It is Carolyn Kavanagh. Yay!
Hello!
Hi, Caroline. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited.
How psyched are you that you won?
I keep forgetting and then reminding myself by like being like, hey, you know what you did on Friday? That was cool.
You not only won this season, but you are now back-to-back VML champion.
Yeah, I was mostly joking when I was telling people to like, come get my crown. But I still have my crown, and I'm very excited.
You, in fact, purchased yourself a crown.
I did, which actually brings up a good point. I'm now trying to decide, should I purchase myself a second crown, and should it be smaller so it fits inside, so I can wear both at the same time?
Yes,
absolutely.
That is correct.
Yeah. Oh,
why would you not do
Would we
that?
like to see this crown? It's not like I have it nearby.
Yes, please put it on. Please put it on.
It doesn't
The viewers
fit
need to witness
well.
this.
So
I mean, I don't know that crowns are about fit.
Yeah, think about some of the famous monarchs of the British dynasty. Like, do you think all those crowns fit them perfectly?
No, they look pretty uncomfortable.
do you think they had bobby pins? Because bobby pins help a lot.
For sure.
Yes. I wonder actually how.
Wait,
I'm now really curious, honestly, about how crowns stayed on people's
I don't know.
heads.
I don't know.
How comfortable were they?
they probably had really big pins. They probably hurt a lot.
Right? Like hat pins
Like
were a
hat pins
thing.
are a thing. I don't know what you do with a hat pin or how you use a hat
stab
pin.
it through the hat and into your
into your skull. That's what it looks like.
Okay, I don't want to wear my crown anymore.
Oh, no.
That's fine, Caroline. Before we get into all the cool stuff about your deck and how the tournament went for you and what this means, et cetera, can you give the viewers and listeners at home just a little summary of what the VML is and why it's important?
Yes. So, the VML stands for the Venus Mercury League, and it's a league for people of marginalized genders is the best kind of place we've ended up with. And we've been going for 3 seasons now. It started as someone's little idea, I want to say last year, but honestly, I don't know. Like, 2020 has seriously messed up whether or not it started this year or not. I really don't remember.
Time is not real.
Nobody could tell you.
But I know we did 2 seasons this year. That I can tell you with confidence. And the idea behind it is we signed up together. So this season had 64 people. And then you get broken into pods of 8. And so this season we had 8 pods. And you spend 7 weeks, though we actually did condense it into 6, but you spend 7 weeks playing everyone else in your pod. So you play a full round robin tournament where Sunday night is decklist day. So Sunday midnight, decklists are due. And then anytime from Monday morning, once they're posted, till the following Sunday, you can arrange to play your match. And this is an insane concept when we first came up with it, because you can't name a tournament where this happens. Like, even in some of the crazy MPL splits and stuff, you're still pretty, people usually dictate when you play. And so being allowed to dictate when you get to play is so cool. Like, if you're working or you have kids at home or whatever reason is, you get to schedule your match. Of course, you have to schedule with one other person, but that's usually pretty manageable. Time zones became a bit of a factor this season, but still, again, pretty manageable.
Wow, that's awesome. 64 players this season.
We had to cut it off at 64. The administration decided that they could not handle more than 64 people because it's actually just one person doing a lot of data entry on the website. So every Monday they have to upload every deck list. And so they decided doing that 64 times was already going to be kind of a lot.
It's just incredible to me to hear about this tournament with so many people participating. In fact, that you had to have a cutoff where, if I'm just reminiscing about when we started doing this podcast 8 years ago, I don't think you probably could have gotten that many people of marginalized genders together to play in a tournament. So it's just really awesome to hear that.
Yeah, for sure. I really also, I feel like you've touched on something really important, which is that when people talk about getting more marginalized genders into playing Magic, and back when the conversation was just getting more women into Magic, people talk a lot about okay, it's a lot of pressure to put on people to be oh, we're going to give you a discretionary invite to a tournament or something, or we're going to promote you a lot on social media. And it puts all this pressure on to be basically an example or try and be
and perform.
Exactly, a perform. And we talk instead about hey, what can you do to make, instead of just lifting up one person or lifting up a handful of people and putting a lot of pressure on them, how can you instead help marginalized genders play more Magic? And I think one of the most important things that you've talked about is just making it so that it is a flexible time
accessible.
Commitment. Exactly. Just providing the accessibility of being hey, you can play in this competitive structured event, or this competitive event that is structured in such a way that it's going to work with your schedule. And I think that that's super important just to highlight.
It's very when I've talked about the league before, everyone's oh, that's cool. And then people actually start playing and they're wow, every Sunday I have to submit a deck list, but I get to submit a deck list every Sunday is how you get to see it. like, I don't know if you're following along standard. I don't know if your listeners, follow along at all. This season was insanely rough. We had to play 4 weeks of dead standard because our deck was due Sunday, and all of those surprise changes would come Monday. And we were on, just to give a little bit of details, we were on an extremely tight deadline because we knew we had the invites were being presented to us, and the tournaments are actually coming up. So the arena qualifier event is next weekend, so we had to be wrapped up this weekend. And so we were super tight. We couldn't delay. Everyone's like, oh, just make deck list due later, and we'll put... I'm like, we can't. I'm sorry. We can't. And so we played 4 weeks of dead standard out of, like, a 9-week league or something. Like, it's kind of brutal just thinking about it. But it does mean that players got to play Omnath when it was good, and then they got to play Gruul when they wanted to, and they really... Rogues, and they just went... We have all the history of everyone's deck list, and... One of the coolest things is picking your list for your next week's opponent by looking at their previous week's lists. Like, have you, there's some really crazy things that happen in our league. For my top 8, I got to pick a list based on what I was pretty confident my quarters opponent would play. Like, I picked red-black, which I know is a bit of a spoiler, but I picked it because I knew my top 8 opponent loved rogues and had done really well with rogues that weekend. Like, I literally did some Twitter sleuthing. Like just the skills. It's just insane that I got to do that. And there's some other actually crazy stuff that the layout of being able to play when you want also allowed me to do. I don't know if you want to transition to that now, but
yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about picking deck lists throughout the weeks and looking at your opponents, that's kind of cool. But also, we got to pick when to play, which means I would submit a deck list Sunday. And so a couple of times I submitted a deck list that I wasn't excited for. Like, I submitted Teamer Adventures, and I really didn't have a lot of practice with it. But my opponent wanted to play Thursday. So I actually got to spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before my match playing this matchup. Every week I would do that. Like, not every week, I guess. But I had friends and team and testing teams that would actually do this with me. And I would get to that match being like, wow, I've played 10 games of this match already. Like, it just, so that was really, really cool. In particular, like Team Sogoi is my team. So they would in general help me out. And then Nick, in Innistrad, you might have seen him around. Not Nick Prince is what he was asked to be called. Nick Price.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, great.
He helped me like a ton. And in the top 8, you could do the same thing. So I knew I was playing mono red. I think this is so crazy to me. I messaged Sandy Dog on Twitter. We're not friends. We don't know each other. I messaged Sandy Dog and said, hey, here's my situation. Will you come and play games as mono red for me? And he did.
Wow.
He did.
No
He played
way.
a couple hours Wednesday before my match, and I learned a lot of things, and then I used them on Thursday. And you just wouldn't get to do that in a regular tournament.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Sandy Dog is a notorious mono red player who's very, very skilled with it. And that's so cool that you reached out to him and he was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I just all these, like, I get that I definitely had a lot of benefits having a team and having maybe a tiny bit of clout where he'd be like, I think I know who that is.
But this isn't a complete random on the internet.
I know other people that just played with their friends or their siblings or whatever. Just play the chance to like learn your deck instead of just being like, oh no, I registered and I have to play right now. Like, oh no. I think it's just so different. I don't know. I can't obviously say enough good things for.
Well, I mean, it's really cool. I think, like you say, it's a unique tournament structure, but especially right now, while there isn't a lot of in-game, like, or in-person play, I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, well, why? Yeah, like, I would love to see more stuff like this that provides players a lot more flexibility, but also giving them, like, some high-stakes events.
Yeah, like, I would be down for this structure for any style of tournament. Like, the VML is special to me, but it's a cool structure as a tournament itself. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet people who are listening or watching this video might be interested in say, hey, I would love a chance to compete in the VML coming up. Do you know if, before we get into your personal accomplishments and all that, if there'll be another season of the VML coming up where people can compete?
I think I can say with confidence that there will be season 4. We have, well, one, you have to come get the crown. So that's for one.
Yep. Okay.
Crowns.
You can't let me have it
Crowns.
twice, or 3 times, I guess.
The crown stack.
Yeah.
And I know that it is in our dreams to have a season 4, and it is likely in our reach as well. The one in my head, I really want to just wait till 2021. Just looking ahead at the next couple months, but I imagine I'll get downvoted. So I'm sure that as soon as people are willing to put the effort into running, because it is really just who's willing to put that driving force into getting it running. I'm sure it will happen. If you want to find a place to follow to make sure it will, like, you'll be notified when it happens, it's Aspirant CCG on Twitter, and maybe you can put it here.
Yeah, we can put it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Put it in the show notes.
We'll put it here.
By which you mean the internet?
The internet. We'll put it under the link under the video and in the show notes so everybody can go follow, and we will certainly announce it on the Upkeep and Good Luck High
And you
Five.
did it. You actually announced season 3 as well.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah.
Because
Not
season
Megan, not
3
you. You didn't do it. You weren't there.
I wasn't there that week. No, listen,
you weren't there.
I made sure it happened.
You were literally sitting in a park with me instead.
Oh, that's true. That's actually very true. And yeah, for people who didn't know, actually, like, winning the VML this season came with a qualification for the Zendikar Rising Championship.
Yeah.
So
huge
that
deal.
part's kind of wild, to be honest.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. Now you're going to be playing in it.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I am. I'm sure this is potentially a shared dream with some people, but I have been aiming to go to a Pro Tour like tournament.
Yeah.
Don't want to
like
make anyone
big
mad.
bucket.
A PT experience, let's say. And I picked the best year to do it, of course, 2020.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
For many reasons. But I am excited ultimately to just do something that's the next thing. I've just never done this thing before, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your journey to get there. What deck did you end up playing in the top 8, and how did it work for you?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously pretty well.
So I did sort of spoil this, but I played, so I guess I'll say, so Sunday night, I had another teammate in the top 8 with me. Tanya was also in the top 8, and we were in separate parts of the bracket, so we couldn't meet till the finals. So we actually spent a lot of time Saturday and Sunday leading up to the deck list submission to build a deck together. And we both agreed that it was very likely that the general consensus of top 8 would be very aggressive decks, because that was the weekend of the Rivals and MPL split, and Gruul had finally broken through, and in general, the players that were in the top 8 seemed to go towards aggressive decks, but aggressive decks have been bad, and so I would see them being like, yes, I get to play Gruul finally. So we were kind of really expecting a lot of creatures. So Tanya actually brought green-white Yorion, and that was sort of my plan, but I got a little tripped up because I knew my opponent really did well with rogues that weekend in like something else, and they really liked it, and I was like, you know what, I need to beat rogues. And so I decided at the last second, like probably like an hour before, I had this deck on my account that was called Red Black, we'll call it Poopers, we'll say, this is what it was called. And I played that for a little bit, and I decided to submit that. And while I was submitting it, my friend Hayu, who does coverage for the event, said, hey, can you change the deck name so that when if we show it on coverage? And so I said, sure. And so I put a little asterisk, just hit some of the letters. And then, a long story short, we ended up with a very silly nickname of, like, it's Shatter Skull Smashing deck, but there are some asterisks where you could imagine there would be some asterisks.
It's so good.
It's very funny.
You can tell that, like, at that point of Sunday night, I was risking my top 8 by playing a deck that wouldn't be great against aggro, and I was losing it, so you can tell by the deck name.
That's so good.
Yes.
And it's so cool to hear your insight, too, behind what choices you make, because I think a lot of times that kind of gets glossed over in big tournaments. And when you have done, some next leveling on what of your deck choices, because you're like, there'll be aggro.
You were so many layers deep in that cake.
Do I play mid-range to beat the aggro, people who are beating aggro? Do I play, I just love that. It's a 7-layer burrito.
Yes. I actually did the same thing in season 2. Like, my opponent had submitted the same list 3 weeks in a row, and I decided to take a gamble that they were just going to do it again. And so I brought, this was back, like, this was standard where food wasn't that popular, but I brought Jund food, and I won the whole thing. And it was all because I just wanted to beat my quarters. I don't know. I kind of like the approach of just being like, just beat the thing you think you're going to play. Instead of like this big call.
I like also that you're focusing on the first one. You're like, do you know what? You don't have to worry about the semifinals if you don't make it through the quarterfinals.
Exactly.
So, like,
that's true.
Get through the quarterfinals.
And then I had to play against Red, and I was very sad. Because I am not favored in that matchup. Red-Black, it's interesting because the Red-Black decks that I played is not the current one that's like peaking in terms of deck list right now, but mine's a little bit more chunkier. And it has a lot of removal spells, but because Mono Red has so many different threats, they just weren't lining up very well. And I was losing. Like, I pulled up the computer on the Monday night and tested 6 matches with my teammate and lost every match and picked up one game. And I was like, oh gosh. And then on the next night, I don't know what night this was, but anyway, on the next night I got Sandy Dog to come on, and then made a little bit of progress. I changed some sideboarding and stuff too, but
Are you just good at every deck? You're talking here, you're like Jund food, and then I played red black, and then I
also, Caroline, I just want you to know that when we were looking up your deck list before we started like this episode, Maria looked it up and she goes, she was on Rakdos? She told me not to play that deck.
I did. I came into your stream and I said, don't do it.
Yeah, I was streaming. I was trying to get ready for the Arena Open this past weekend, which I of course tanked in, but I didn't know what to play, and you were like, not that one.
Wow, I'm terrible.
Betrayed.
I do want to answer your question because it's actually something. It's the same thing I've been saying this whole time. There's one week where I registered Blue White Yorion, which, if you know me at all, is not a Caroline deck. I absolutely don't love the idea of just waiting. Just like, wait, but I want to attack. It's like Caroline, you have an 0-4 wall. Like, just pass. But I want it. So I registered these decks that were so far out of my comfort zone, but having that, one, I only have to pay attention to one match, except for the top 8, but mostly only pay attention to one match, and having that week to just get more comfortable with something was so different than any other tournament. I could not play blue-white in a 7-round event. I just wouldn't go well. I would get frustrated and I'd get bored and I'd attack with my wall or something. I don't know.
This wall attacks, it has defender.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm like trying to turn it sideways. But so I really think that that's a huge part of how, because if you do look back at my deck list choices, I think I played 6 different decks, maybe only 5 different decks. In the full event.
That's a lot of variety, though.
Well, that's really cool. And another good note about the structure, too, that allowing yourself to have time to practice with decks and the structure allowing you to be able to do that and kind of maybe expand your play style or stuff that you consider, oh, I'm not that good at it. Well, now you have time to, I don't know, expand your horizons, get better and feel more confident in yourself and the decks you're playing.
So on your way through the top 8, you beat Dimir Rogues.
Yeah.
Which was the one that you were gunning for with your Rakdos choice.
Yeah, that one went a little simple. I did the things I was supposed to do. That's like
but you were just like, guess what? I came prepared.
Yep. Well, actually, my top 8 opponent was Skybills, and Skybills spent the previous 2 days of our match sending me compliments, which is a great way to mess with your opponent, by the way. Just kept DMing me, because we had tested a little bit together through the regular round robin, and so she'd be like, you're great! Like, I can't believe we have to play! You're fantastic! I was like, no, this is not fair.
Wait, hold on. That's the opposite of trash talk. What do we call it?
Yeah.
Canadian talk?
Canadian. Yeah, that's true. It would be very characteristic of you Canadians.
Boost chat. Nope, that doesn't. That's like, it sounds
boost
like
chat is the worst.
Sounds like something that it's automatically installed on your cell phone from Boost Mobile.
So next up, you had to play Mono Red.
Yes. On Aaron Barrich on Mono Red. That's very different than Mono Red, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
A very accomplished player.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you know Erin Barrich's story through the VML, but she was undefeated through her round robin on only Mono Red. So through Omnath, through every Mono Red. At least I think so. I didn't actually do but I'm pretty sure that a lot of Mono Red. And then won the she had a bye, so won the top 16, won her top 8 match, and then had me in the semis. All on Mono Red.
My
Yikes.
goodness.
You can see why I went to Sandy Dog here.
Yes, absolutely.
I now understand, like you said, not just Mono Red. So, like, how did it end up playing out?
I mean, well, because I clearly won, but it was.
But like, was it super close? Did you like what? How did?
Well, I have a bit of a story. So the deck list that I
Great.
submitted, I did get kind of late on Sunday, and at one point, it gets sent to me and goes, "Okay, here's a good 75, but I don't know what the Lamia is for." And this is, I don't know the first word of the card, but it's a 5-mana enchantment creature. It's a 5-mana 4/4 lifelinker. When it comes into play, you can put Gravebreaker Lamia?
Breaker?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the person says, "Okay, I don't know what it's for," and I said, whatever, I'll submit it. So I submitted this 5-mana 4/4 lifelinker in my sideboard. And when I'm talking about, I'm in a group chat with some friends, and when I was talking about my Mono Red matchup, and I showed my deck list, you might know him as PVDR, but Paulo says, "What the heck is the Lamia for?" And I was like, "Listen, Paulo, sometimes you've got to play a 5-mana 4/4 lifelinker. It's just what you got to do." And he said, "Is it?" And then that was the end of the conversation. So in game 3 of the Mono Red matchup, I resolved my 5-mana 4/4 lifelinker and attacked with it.
You know what?
That
Sometimes you are smarter than a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think
right.
the word is scoreboard. I think that's what they say.
That's awesome. I love that story.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sometimes you do have to play a
Sometimes you
5-mana
do.
4/4 lifelinker.
Just what you gotta do.
Great. Amazing. And then what did you play against in the finals?
Yeah, so one of the downsides of this tournament was all of this was happening in secret. Because the way
true.
we actually do a live broadcast every Friday, but what we do is the players record their matches throughout the week, and then the casters don't know the results, and they watch the matches for the first time, but it means the production's a lot smoother, and people don't have to be there playing live. So that's normally fine in a 1-match week. But in the top 8, we had 3 matches to squeeze in, theoretically, if you were winning. And so the casters didn't want to know any results, which means we couldn't tell anyone that we'd won our quarters or won our semis, which was very hard because one of the casters was literally one of my best friends and on our testing team. So it was very challenging to do. And so I got to the point where I was watching along on Twitch and I could finally tweet out that I'd made the finals because I couldn't even tell anyone. But I did know that I was on playing against Gruel, and I knew Thursday night. So on Thursday, I actually canceled some plans that I may have had with someone in this call to play.
I was, in fact, canceled on by Caroline.
Yikes. Yikes. Let's get it all out in the open, everybody.
I had to play
Let's just
Gruel. I
air it.
played it a bunch. I played the matchup. And again, same thing. Oh, no, actually, this was the opposite. I had played too much that day, so someone actually was playing for me. And we won every time. We won like 4 or 5 times in a row. And we're like, oh, no. Because it's bad now. If you win too much in testing, it might be bad. So then
it might come around and bite you?
Yeah. So then the next day I played again and I lost every time. And then I went into the finals and won. So.
All right.
Great.
I was quoted,
I'm really glad.
I was quoted saying testing is bad, which is a joke. It is not bad.
It's a good thing that you won, because if you had not, I would not have forgiven you for canceling on Thursday.
There you go. There you go.
Or I wouldn't be here either, which is something I wanted to do for like
that's actually true.
5 years. So
Yay! Well, this was part of the prize of winning the VML.
we forgot to write it on
Megan
the thing.
did promise.
I did promise specifically to Caroline.
Yep.
On air. I asked you on air, so you couldn't say no. It was great.
Yeah.
Can I tell you
perfect
just
lock.
something really quick? I remember my first Good Luck High Five episode. I don't know if it was the first one I actually listened to, but it was the first one I remember.
What was it?
You were in a, I want to say it was Maria, I think, was in a hostel in Vancouver because you had been.
I
No,
was.
Meghan was.
Okay, it was Meghan. You were recording from a hostel in Vancouver from one of the Grand Prix. I don't know which year it was.
Yes, that is very true.
And I was like, oh, I'm in Vancouver. And that was all the connection I had. I just was really excited. I was like, oh, what hostel?
I do not
goodness.
remember that episode.
I definitely do because
okay.
I was recording from a hostel.
Yeah.
True.
And I had to find some like random quiet corner of a common room or something to try and record in.
I was impressed that you pulled that off. Like,
It was it was an undertaking. Wow, that had to have been that was 2015 or something.
yeah, it was a long time ago.
Unbelievable.
It really is. Caroline, it would not be an episode of Good Luck High Five with a guest if we did not play some flavor text theater.
Okay.
So I have prepared for you both some flavor text Mad-Libs.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay, I want to just get it out there that I really struggle with the difference between adjectives and adverbs and nouns. So
It's gonna be okay.
Okay.
It's
I like
gonna
You
to
know
be
what?
okay.
We'll take whatever you say.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will. Also, I can clarify every time that I ask for something.
Okay.
Okay. Are you both ready?
I'm prepared.
All right. So
yeah.
first up, it is. I need a living noun.
What does that mean?
So a person or thing that is alive.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like living weapon.
No, like a person or thing that's alive.
Weapon. Okay. Can I go with sloth?
Yeah. Of
Oh,
course.
great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer.
Next up, I need a location.
Okay. My location that I would like to offer is thinking the ball pit at a 1980s McDonald's.
All right.
I need to be very specific about what year.
Next up, I need a place.
Oh, dang. Well. Wait, what? Did you ask for a place last time?
I asked for a location.
Oh, location.
Yeah. Which I
Okay.
feel like they're slightly different, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, a place. Caroline.
The CN Tower.
Oh.
What's a CN Tower?
It's the largest tower, the Space Needle in Toronto. There we go.
Oh, okay. Toronto Space Needle. Got it.
A verb ending in ing.
Ooh.
Caroline, you're also going to be giving me a verb ending in ing, so start thinking.
All right. So my favorite magic verb is obviously sloop, as in they have very sloopy arms, like Omnath. So in this case, it would be slooping, I
Yes,
think is
slooping.
the right word.
Absolutely. Caroline, a verb.
My verb is very close, but sleuthing. Mostly because I want to try to say all of that together.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'll be great.
All right, Maria, I need a location.
Ooh, another location.
You wasted it all in the first one.
It was a lot of detail.
did.
A lot of detail.
I really did. Okay. The principal's office.
All right, and Caroline, I need a noun.
Okay. We'll go
Person,
with.
place, or thing.
No, I know it.
I told you I would clarify on all of them, so I just was. I was living up to my end of the deal.
Okay, we'll go with Tom Hanks.
Great noun. Great noun.
One of my favorite
Nouns.
One of my favorite nouns, honestly. Okay, so this is for the card Teeter Peak Ambusher. Goblins from the McKindy trenches of Ondu make surprisingly skilled climbing guides due to their habit of scaling the cliffs to drop onto unsuspecting foes.
That is a long flavor text.
I thought you were just doing them all for one card, for like a bunch of
Nope.
cards.
This is just the first one. Sloths from the ball pit at a 1980s McDonald's at the CN Tower make surprisingly skilled slooping guides due to their habit of sleuthing the principal's office to drop onto unsuspecting Tom Hanks.
I really want to visit the McDonald's 1980s ball pit in the CN Tower.
I mean, yeah, there is one.
This
As
proves
proven
it.
by this card.
You know, an unsuspecting Tom Hanks.
Is there any other kind?
We can just, that's just his natural state, right?
Yes. I also like that they make surprisingly skilled slooping guides due to their habit of sleuthing.
I'm just happy I made you say all of those sounds together.
Success.
All right, here we go. This next one is pretty short.
Okay.
Caroline, I need a noun.
Okay.
And Maria, I'm going to need an adjective.
An adjective. It's a describing word.
noun.
Okay.
Basketball.
All right. And Caroline, I'm going to come back to you for another noun. So
Okay.
be ready.
Damn.
My adjective is Canadian. I've just got Canada on the brain.
Uh-huh. All right, Caroline, another noun.
Airplane.
You said that with such conviction.
Yes. All right, this one was a short one.
Okay.
This is the flavor text on blood price. Blood is the oldest currency.
Good flavor text. I bet ours is better.
It now reads, basketball is the Canadian airplane.
You know, because the basketballs bounce so high and Canadians are so small that they can just
They
ride
can
the
ride on
basketball.
Yeah, that makes sense. Basketball is the Canadian airplane.
Wow, I'm really
Beautiful.
sad I didn't say moose now.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
I assume all Canadians ride moose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We all,
Caroline, what's your moose named?
Oh, my moose name is Moosers. Very original.
Great.
If you subscribe to Caroline's Twitch channel, there's a lot of moose emojis.
And sloth emojis.
And slop
Excellent.
emojis. Okay, it's the same as last time, but reverse. So Maria,
Okay.
noun. Caroline, be thinking of an adjective, which is a describing word.
My noun is going to be Sean Connery, R.I.P. I just watched him in The Rock on Halloween night to celebrate, and what a film!
What a film The Rock is. It's about Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Caroline, adjective.
Okay. My adjective is silly an adjective?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
absolutely.
Yes, I nailed it.
Absolutely.
I knew that.
Maria, another noun.
This noun is going to be it's a scalding hot macaroni.
Okay, we got there.
I don't know where that came from, everybody. As you can see, it was like a
The
birth
deep recesses of
process,
her brain.
yeah.
All right, this is spoils of adventure.
Oh no.
Survival itself is no small reward. Sean Connery, R.I.P., is no silly scalding hot macaroni.
I don't know if that's true. I would say he's scalding hot macaroni.
I would also say that Sean Connery is scalding hot macaroni.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Some
what
of those
is,
early
what
Bond
is
films?
silly scalding hot?
Oh yeah,
macaroni?
he's not silly.
he's
You're
not-
right.
he's not very silly.
Yeah.
He's not very silly. All right, I've got one more team.
Okay.
Okay.
From each of you, I will need a number.
Oh. I'm gonna go with 3.
Great.
Just a classic number.
Caroline, what's your number?
472.51.
Is there a
right.
significance to that number?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And then I need from each of you a noun.
Hairball.
All right, I'm gonna pluralize it because I need a plural.
All right,
one.
hairballs.
Hairballs.
Wet broccoli.
Why is it wet?
Terrifying.
You just washed
all
it.
right.
It's clean.
I need a person's name from either of you.
Oh. I will give the name of Caroline.
Oh, I shouldn't have used wet broccoli.
Okay, I need a place, Caroline.
The moon.
And Maria, I need a job.
Oh, great. Fish spanker. Sometimes you just gotta spank.
Who's getting paid for that?
You sometimes gotta spank a fish.
Yeah, I guess I'll take your word for it.
Yep.
All right, this is Sizzling Barrage. 1,000 sparks can burn through your defenses just as quickly as one massive blaze.
Ooh, nice.
Adhikar, Akuum Elementalist. It now reads, 3 hairballs can burn through your defenses just as quickly as 472.5 wet broccolis. Caroline, Moonfish Spanker.
Ooh, moonfish. Yeah. Surely you've spanked a moonfish in your day.
I just want to, okay, 3 hairballs can burn through your defenses just as quickly as 472.51 wet broccoli.
I feel like you reversed it because the other one was 1,000 to 1, and now it's 3.
It's 3 to 472.51.
Yeah.
Caroline, how'd you get that job on the moon spanking fish?
Yeah.
I can't talk about it. It's classified.
Ooh,
Wow.
classified. Super
Government
secret.
job. Okay.
Super secret. Caroline, before we send you on your merry way, I have to know, like, heading into the Zendikar Championship coming up, when is it even? Next month? Yeah,
December.
At the start of December.
Like 4th through 6th, I want to say.
Yeah.
4th through 6th.
How are you feeling about achieving that dream of playing in a pro tour like event? And like, are you nervous? Are you excited?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do to prepare and be ready to take the whole thing down? Not that I have high hopes for you, but I do, and you're going to win the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Do I get to come back if I win the whole thing? Yes. Perfect.
Yes.
I'll change
Yes.
them together. Okay, well, I am very nervous, but I'm a little, like, I've been thriving. We didn't really talk too much about this, but I've actually been playing a ton of online tournaments. Like, I feel like this was, as much as I'm sad about 2020, I've actually really adapted to online life. I have small amounts of anxiety when in paper Magic, mostly with people watching me play. I don't know, it's just a thing. And so online Magic has been a huge part of that, and I could talk forever about how great some of the tournaments have been, not just the VML, but just in general. And so there's that. So this one's online, so that's going to be in the column of favor for Caroline. But the thing I'm really sad about is one of the cool things of a PT-like tournament is all of the people that you would see at these events. And a small proportion of them are my friends. And so not being able to travel to these cool places or even Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix. You specifically called out Phoenix,
I actually
Arizona.
didn't. I meant to call out Richmond. The joke's much funnier if I say Richmond. Hold on.
Whatever. There's great ice cream in Richmond.
Yeah, but there's been like 12 PTs there for some reason.
Yeah, that's true.
I know.
That is
Their
true.
convention center must be a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, they must have signed a contract. So here's the thing. I am excited to play an online tournament. I feel this will help me quell some of my nerves, hopefully. And I still have some connections to those friends. The internet does exist. And hopefully I'll be able to, there's been some plans of even connecting and testing with some of those cool friends. So that's going to be good as well. But I am sad that I won't be running round to round, being able to say my record. Because normally I'm at these events being like, oh yeah, so 2-0 in the draft side event, just doing my thing.
Yeah.
So that will be nice to be able to be playing. And at the moment, my boyfriend is not qualified, so it's very funny to me because he normally is qualified for everything, and this is kind of my moment to be like, haha. But he'll probably just win something, who knows, so...
That's so cool. And I mean, you're going to be playing against, the highest level of competition in Magic, too.
Oh,
is that exciting to you?
Yeah. Sure.
Or you're just scared?
I actually do have a little bit of just... In the past, my play and anxious levels would increase when I knew my opponent I was like, oh, this is a real person. That's not what I would say. When I would say that this is a pro or whatever. And so I do need to try and wash some of that out because every person will be a real person when I play at this event. So.
And you know what, Caroline? You're a real person.
I know.
You are a real person.
That's exciting.
we've met in person.
And you've won these tournaments back to back. You've got one crown and a smaller, tinier crown that will fit inside that crown.
Well, I have to
like,
order that
you're
one
legit.
still. Maybe I'll make them.
but you
I'll
will
make the
have
VML pay for that one. Where's my crown?
Wow.
Great.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for honoring the agreement I made you do on air.
Caroline,
I am more than happy to.
if anybody wants to follow you or keep track of like your progress, winning all these tournaments, no big deal. How can they do that?
So you can find me on Twitter at MightyLinguine, MightyLinguine. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheMightyLinguine because consistency isn't key. I stream on Wednesdays with a guest from the Magic community, but we don't always play Magic. So we're pretty variety-based streamers. Meghan has been on the stream before, and who knows, maybe I'll trick Maria into doing it as well. But it's one of my favorite things about me, I think, is that I've been streaming for 2 years only on Wednesdays, but I always have a guest of some variety that's related to Magic. And I think that's pretty cool.
Wow.
I managed to
That's
keep
a lot of people.
Super cool.
Yeah. People keep agreeing
Nice.
for some reason, which is nice. So
Well, if you keep showing up as a rando in people's DMs,
Yeah, there you go.
oh yeah,
soon you're a rando no more now, Caroline.
I know. I'm excited.
Guess what, everybody? We're going to say thank you to our other sponsor, Ultra Pro.
That's right. And if you're looking at these designs and being like, wow, no one's talked about this Boros dude.
Gosh, what was it? It must have been the Boros
Guild Mage.
Guild Mage. Yep.
Yes. Or Pop-Tart Cat.
Nyan Cat.
In years, well, that's because these deck boxes are from Ultra Pro and they are years old.
Yes, I recently found these while rifling through some of my old Magic stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
what are these? I looked on the top. It says great drafts.
Yes.
So these are some of my favorite drafts I ever did, my undefeated decks from way, way, way back in the day when we
Yes.
first started playing. And I saved them. And they are still here today in perfect condition because I kept them in Ultra Pro deck boxes and sleeves.
Oh my goodness.
you
And
believe that?
next week on the show, we're going to do a little retrospective
Yeah.
of all the draft formats. And we're making a video where we battle some of these old decks against each other.
Yeah,
Which
so
is very exciting.
I'm very stoked because these are decks that were not meant to be played against each other, but they're both
No.
undefeated, awesome draft
because
decks.
they're from different draft
yeah, from their
sets.
different draft sets. So we're gonna play them against each other. And like, I just am pulling out a card here from my sideboard, which is Knight of Obligation. It has Extort. So
Wow. Extort.
Extort, you remember that?
Yeah.
We're going to be playing with these in a special video sponsored by Ultra Pro. So I'm super excited to have that show up on the channel. So like I said early in the episode, go follow, subscribe, and hit the bell on youtube.com/goodluckhighfive because
Yeah.
that's where that video will be popping up.
And if you have great drafts or just great decks in general that you want to keep safe and happy, get Ultra Pro, man. That's our show, everybody. Thanks once again to Caroline for coming on.
Yes.
And telling us all about her experience in the VML this season.
Awesome.
And just like, it was so cool to hear her talk so passionately about just that tournament structure.
Yep.
The VML as an experience.
Competitive Magic.
Yes, exactly. Super excited to see how she does in the Zendikar Rising Championship coming
Me
up.
too. I'll be watching her the whole time, making sure that I'm giving you all at home updates about that too, because we want to know how she does. And can I just say, like, having her on talking about all that, talking about the tournament, about preparation, testing, all these different decks that she played. I mean, it's just so wonderful to hear it. And like, there's some people out there who are like, women are interested in this kind of thing. Like,
what a load of work she puts in.
let me point you to this episode.
Yes.
Women
she puts
love
in
this
so
stuff.
much work.
Yes, absolutely.
More work. Yeah. Yes. It was great.
And so, like, you know, it's wonderful to see that community growing and thriving, and more people who are women and non-binary being like, we're awesome at Magic, and we want to put in more work than other people in the game, and we will get to places where we are so excellent that we will be at the top tiers of Magic in no time.
Deal with it.
I love it.
Yeah. So That's our episode.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
What an app.
Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/GLHF Magic if you want to become a member.
Yeah.
We
Thank
would
you
love
to
to see
everyone
you.
who is currently a patron.
Absolutely.
Thank you to our sponsors, Card Kingdom and Ultra Pro, for just generally being so wonderful.
So awesome.
And thanks to you and your ears.
Yeah.
Thanks to your ears, or however you're listening to this.
Your cat's mouth.
Your cat's mouth. However.
Thank you. Give your kitty cat a pet from us.
Until next week, hold on to your horse.
And keep those hands stinky.
And keep those hands. Oh, no.
I was going to bring it back.